So I'm going to brief you about phasor now, because we are going to study about steady state analysis of AC circuit. Okay, so what was the definition for phasor? Phasor is a vector which rotates in counterclockwise direction at a angular velocity of omega. Okay, and it can also be expressed as, so it is a complex number actually. Phasor is a complex number. Okay, phasor is a complex number that represents amplitude, okay, and phase angle of a given sinusoidal waveform. Okay, we know that. So what was that? So the statement is, so this length of the vector represents amplitude of the sine wave, that is peak magnitude. Okay, and position of the phasor represents the phase angle with respect to zero reference phasor. Okay, so this is a phasor. So we know three types of phasor representations. First one is polar form, exponential form, and rectangular form. So to simple understand, I have considered one sinusoid here. So that is Vm sine omega t is a sinusoid. So this can be written in exponential form. Exponential form of exponential form of polar representation as Vm into e power j theta. Okay, Vm into e power j pi. So this Vm sine omega t plus pi can be written in exponential form as Vm into e power j pi. Okay, so Vm is peak magnitude, e power j into pi is phase from zero reference to that phase, this pi. Okay, and it can also be written in polar form. Polar form, that is in Vm an angle pi. So this is polar form where Vm is peak magnitude, okay, and pi is phase angle. Right, now this can be also be written as in rectangular form. So this is very useful form of representation, rectangular form. So that is Vm into cos pi plus j sin pi. Okay, this is a rectangular form of representation. Okay, actually for real term it should be cos pi. Okay, so any of the sinusoid vector, so cos also a sinusoid. Okay, so this is about writing polar form, exponential form, and rectangular forms. Okay, now let us take one example, and we are going to write the three forms of the example. Okay, and here the exponential forms and polar forms are exponential forms and polar forms are used to calculate addition and multiplication of phasors. Okay, whereas rectangular form is used for addition as well as subtraction of phasors. Okay, so these are the points to remember. Now let us take one example, that is tan cos 2t plus 30 degrees. Okay, now we need to write this in different phasor forms. Okay, so let us find it. So let us write down the reference, that is Vm cos. So let us take the reference instantaneous value voltage. Okay, so that is v of t equal to Vm cos omega t plus pi. So given waveform is v of t equal to 10 cos 2t plus pi plus 30. So by comparing these two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, we can compare equation 1 and equation 2. Okay, so what can you obtain from the Em equal to 10 and omega equal to 2, pi equal to 30 degrees. So this is what you can get by comparing. Now we are going to write them in different phasor forms. Okay, so the given was 10 cos 2t plus 30. Now this can be written in exponential form, that is, so exponential form for the given reference voltage vector is Vm e power j pi, right? So that is 10, Vm is 10 here, e power j into pi is 30 degrees. So this is exponential form, right? Now let us write polar form. So polar form will be Vm at an angle of pi, that is Vm is 10 at an angle of pi is 30 degrees. And the third one, rectangular form, will be Pm cos pi plus j into Vm sin pi. So I'm going to tell you about this j operator in detail. Okay, so this Vm rectangular form, Vm is 10, cos of pi is 30 degrees plus j into Vm is 10 sin of 30 degrees. So you can get the values by calculate the angle, which is 3 root 3 by 2 plus j into 10 sin 30 is 1 by 2. So the expression, the value for the voltage in rectangular form will be 5 root 3 plus j volts. Okay, so this is how you can write different phasor forms. Okay, so I will give you one example for your assignment so that you can understand it. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about this j operator here. So what is the significance of this j operator? J, or it can be also be represented I. Okay, so that is famously called as j operator. So what was this phasor? Here we have 0 degrees, here we have 90 degrees, 180 and 270, here it is 360, right? So our phasor starts from 0 actually, and it will rotate in counterclockwise direction. So in our AC circuits there is a term called reactance. It is available for L and C components. Okay, sir. So for pure inductive elements, so there is inductive reactance XL, and for pure capacitive elements there is inductive reactance, that is XC. So XL is omega L and XC is 1 by omega C. So this reactance will create one phasor difference from real magnitude. Actually it is imaginary value. Okay, and for impedance there will be two terms, that is, one is resistor plus j into x terms. Okay, so this x can be XL or XC. Okay, so this is impedance actually. So here this is real part, R is resistance is real part, and this X is called imaginary part. Generally the real and imaginary parts will be 90 degrees away from each other. Okay, they are in quadrature actually. So the real and imaginary values are always in quadrature. Quadrature means they will be having 90 degrees displacement. So based on the element, so for inductor the current will lag the voltage, for capacitor the current will lead the voltage. So that will be different for different elements. It can be leading, it can be lagging, but it will lag. For pure inductor it will lag by 90 degrees, for pure capacitor it will lead by 90 degrees. Okay, so why I am mentioning this is this j operator here will indicate that there is a phase displacement between this r and x terms, that is 90 degrees. That is r plus jx means r and x are phase displaced by 90 degrees. So this is the understanding from this j operator. Okay, so if r is on this 0 angle reference angle r, so the x will be in the quadrature with this r, that is x will be after 90 degrees. It can be leading or it can be lagging. It can be lagging. So if it is lagging, that will be like this xc. Okay, and if it is leading, that will be xl. Okay, so this is j operator. J operator will create a phase angle difference between real value and imaginary value, that is 90 degree phase displacement will be created by J operator. J operator, or it can be also called as I operator. Okay, so whenever I mention a vector, that is A plus JB, okay, that means A and B are 90 degrees phase displaced. A, this is B, and there is angle of 90 degrees. So to indicate the 90 degree phase displacement, we are mentioning J here. Okay, so this is about J operator. J operator will create a phase displacement of 90 degrees. That is to be understood. Okay, generally that is given as 1 at an angle 90 degrees. This is called JRI, which can also be written as J pi by 2 in exponential form. That is also J I. In rectangular form, it can be written as cos of pi is 90 plus J sine 90. That's why it is cos 90 is 0 plus J into sine 90 is 1. That's why it is J operator. This is a rectangular form of representing J operator. That is 1 at 90 degrees is called J operator, or it can also be written as I. Okay, so this is one thing to remember. Okay, now let us proceed further. Now let us try to understand steady state analysis of DC circuits first. Okay, so let us recall that. That is, what is the behavior of our inductor and capacitor for source forced excitation and source free excitation. Okay, so what is that? So for steady state, sorry, for transient first, t is equal to 0 plus what is the state of inductor and capacitor under forced excitation. Let us take it as forced excitation first. Forced excitation means initially there is no supply and we are going to turn on a supply onto the circuit. Okay, and similarly we are going to see the response of inductor and the capacitor in source free excitation. Okay, this is source free excitation. So we are going to see the transient behavior and the steady state behavior of each element. Okay, so let us observe here. So initially for forced excitation there was no supply, so the current through the inductor will be 0. So it will be acting as open circuit even you turn on the supply, because inductor doesn't allow sudden change in current. So after pi time constants, that is at t is equal to infinity, or after pi time constants, after t greater than pi time constants, the circuit will attain steady state and the inductor will be acting as a short circuit. Okay, this is the behavior of inductor under forced excitation. Okay, at transient as well as at steady state. Now let us see the behavior of capacitor at transient condition of forced excitation. So initially there is no voltage, so it will be acting as a short circuit initially, because voltage across short circuit is 0. It is representing that there is no voltage before switching on the supply. Now after pi time constant, that t greater than pi time constants, or it is treated as t equal to infinity, this is steady state condition, right? So this is steady state condition. At this condition, the capacitor will be acting as open circuit. We already seen this. Now let us see the same for source free excitation. Source free excitation means initially there is a source for a long time and we are going to remove it now. So initially there is a source means current, there will be current through this inductor. Okay, now, and that will be available for few seconds. So this will be represented with a current source now. The inductor will act as current source up to pi time constant. Okay, and capacitor will act as voltage source up to pi time constant. Okay, so this is the behavior of capacitor and inductor for source free excitation. Up to t equal to pi time constants, it will be acting as a voltage source. Okay, so this is the behavior of inductor and capacitor in DC excitation, right? This was the behavior we have observed. Now we are going to see the behavior of this inductor and capacitor in comparison with resistor. Okay, so here we are going to see the real effect of this inductor and capacitor in AC circuits. Okay, so this will create more chaos actually. Okay, so we are going to see this, because there is a extra term that we are going to get, that is frequency. So this frequency and the capacitor's inductor property will be studied here. Okay, let us proceed. So steady state indicates absence of transients. Okay, so there is no transient now. We only studying the steady state of AC analysis, and which is achieved practically after phi time constants. We know this steady state is achieved after phi time constants of switching action. So in AC analysis, the steady state analysis is normally carried out by phasors. Okay, we are going to represent the parameters using phasors, and we are going to see the steady state analysis of AC circuits. Okay, so here we will be having different combinations. So we have already seen the behavior of R, L, C individually, but I will tell you once again for understand. So, and there will be series combination and parallel combination of elements. Okay, so series combination of RC, RL, and parallel combination of, and series combination of RLC also, parallel combination of RC, parallel combination of RL, parallel combination of RLC. So these are the things we need to see for steady state analysis. So I think there are 8 methods and eight topologies we are going to see here. We have already seen this RLC already, so I will brief you once again, and we are going to see in this class the series combination of RC, RL, and RLC. In the next class, we will be seeing RC parallel, RL parallel, and RLC parallel. Okay, let us proceed. So let us see the resistive circuit behavior. Okay, here we have applied single phase AC supply. It is represented with single phase AC and frequency 50 Hz. This means we have applied single phase AC supply. So there will be a current through resistor, that is IR, and there will be a voltage available across resistor, that is VR. We are going to see the behavior of these two parameters here, IR and VR. Okay, so let us try to write IR here. IR equal to, for sinusoid it is Im sine omega t plus, here it is 0, and similarly for VR it is Vm sine omega t, it is also 0, because there will be no phase angle difference between voltage and current in a resistor. I have already told you. So the phase angle difference, that is pi, is 0 here. Okay, so there is no phase difference. So how can you draw the phasors here? Okay, we are going to draw the phasors. Okay, so here, if this is voltage phasor, okay, the current phasor will be in phase with this voltage phasor or in parallel. Okay, it can be in phase or it can be parallel. Okay, that means pi, that is phase difference, is 0 here. This is phasor representation, phasor diagram for resistive network. Okay, voltage and current, this is said to be voltage and current are in phase in a resistor. Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, so the phase angle is 0 here, phase difference. Now let us see the same for pure inductive circuit. So here we are going to see the same for inductive circuit. The second circuit is inductive here. That means a inductor will be supplied with AC supply. This is symbol for AC supply. Okay, so this one, sine wave. Okay, so this is single phase AC supply with 50 Hz frequency. Now we are going to see the behavior of current through and voltage across this inductor. Okay, so the current through inductor will be IL and voltage across inductor will be VL. Right? Now we already know that the current lags voltage by 90 degrees in a pure inductor. We have derived an expression for that also, right? So here I am mentioning the IL, current through inductor, equal to Im sine omega t. So to represent lag, I am mentioning minus 90 degrees here, because current lags voltage. Okay, with respect to voltage, current will lag by 90 degrees. It is VL is voltage across inductor, and it is sine omega t plus 0 degrees. So there is a 90 degrees displacement between inductor and current. The phase angle difference between current and voltage is 90 degrees here. Earlier for resistive circuit it was 0, now it is 90. Okay, you can represent this phasor in exponential form also. Okay, so this is IL can be written as IM, so this is capital, right, capital IM at an angle of minus 90 degrees, and voltage as VL equal to Vm at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay, so this is exponential representation of phasors, we already know. Now I am taking this IL here, IL equal to IM at an angle of minus 90, right? So I am writing IM equal to IL by I am shifting this phase angle, that will be minus 90, 1 by minus 90 degrees, right? So I have shifted the phase to other side, so this will be equal to IL, you can shift this 90 to the upward, that is numerator, that will become plus 90, that is plus 90 here. Okay, so here IL is having a phase displacement of 90 degrees, this is indication. Okay, here IL is having a angle of 90 degrees here. Okay, so this is one phasor now. This is phasor representation of IL, that is IL bar at an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, now let us draw the phasors here. So VL was Vm at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay, so I am writing the phasors here. This is VL bar. Now what is IL bar? IL bar is having a 90 degree displacement, that is lagging. Okay, this is IL. Okay, having a 90 degrees lagging from voltage. Okay, so here what is the voltage across that inductor? VL equal to IL into XL, right? So what is that IL here? IL is having a phase displacement of 90 degrees, right? That is IL at an angle 90 degrees into XL is omega, inductive reactance, right? So here that will be so how can you write this one at this IL at an angle of 90 is nothing but IL into 1 at an angle of 90 degrees. So 1 at an angle of 90 degrees can be replaced with e power j pi by 2, which is equal to our j operator, IL into j. That is, we are going to have a j operator here, that is IL into XL. So VL voltage across inductor is now equal to j into IL into XL. Okay, so here these are vectors here. J will bring you 90 degrees phase displacement. Okay, that means voltage equal to, here current is lagged by 90 degrees, that is why we are getting J operator. The current is lagging the voltage by 90 degrees, and we are multiplying with reactance. XL is inductive reactance. Okay, that means this inductive reactance has brought 90 degrees displacement from voltage to current. Okay, so this is like, now let us see the same for capacitor. So here let us see for the same behavior of capacitor here, that is IC is current through capacitor and voltage across capacitor is VC. Okay, we know that current leads voltage by 90 degrees in a pure capacitor, right? Current leads voltage by 90 degrees here. So what is the current here? IC will be equal to IM sine. So to represent the lead, that I am mentioning omega t, because it is leading, I am adding the phase angle 90 degrees. Okay, so VC will be Vm cos omega t plus 0. Okay, so there is the phase difference between voltage and current is 90 degrees here. Okay, so let us draw the phasors here. That will be, if voltage is this one VC, so IC will be leading by 90 degrees. Okay, IC will be leading by 90 degrees. So voltage across capacitor can be written as current through capacitor into capacitive reactance, where XC is called capacitive reactance, whose value is 1 by omega c, where omega is equal to 2 pi f. Okay, angular frequency. So maybe it's called angular frequency. Okay, so our capacitor is having a negative. That means here, if you observe, we are writing voltage. So here current is leading. So current lead will be represented with minus negative J operator into IC into JC. That means here voltage is lagging the current by 90 degrees. This is the definition of this expression here. Okay, here voltage is lagging the current by 90 degrees. Our current is leading the voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, so this is about RLC components in sinusoidal steady state. Okay, now let us see the RC series circuit. So let us see series RC circuit behavior here. We have applied a voltage of single phase 50H to RC series circuit. So there will be a current through the circuit. I am giving it as cap small I. So here there will be a voltage across this resistor, that is given as VR, voltage across resistor, and there will be a voltage across this capacitor VC. Okay, now let us see what is the voltage across this resistor. Voltage across resistor, that is VR equal to I into R, because it is a series connection. So the voltage across this circuit will be I into R. So now the every parameter we are drawing is a phasor, so that's why I am representing with a bar here. Okay, now let us see voltage across capacitor, that is VC. Okay, so what is VC here? VC is also a phasor. Okay, everything is a phasor now, because sinusoidal analysis is nothing but a phasor representation. Okay, now it is IC into, here this IC is leading the current, leading the voltage, so that is there will be a J operator, right? So whenever you write IC here, VC, you need to write a J operator, that is minus J into I into XC. Okay, so this is our voltage across capacitor now, minus J into I into capacitive reactance XC. So what is this voltage here? That is supply voltage V. We are supplying a voltage V here. So that is V bar equal to VR. This is nothing but two voltages in series. So we are going to add them. This is the voltage, supply voltage here. Here this is phasor sum, not arithmetic sum. This is phasor sum. That is, what is the difference between phasor sum and arithmetic sum? Arithmetic sum and phasor sum. So here for phasor sum, how can you differentiate phasor sum and arithmetic sum? So arithmetic sum is 4 plus 3. For arithmetic sum, it is 7. Okay, but when it comes to phasor sum or vector sum, it will be 4 bar plus 3 bar. So how can you add this? This will be added by our 4 square plus 3 square. That will be equal to 16 plus 9, which is equal to under root 25. That is equal to 5. Okay, so arithmetic sum is different, phasor sum is different. Okay, so this is phasor sum or vector sum. You are not supposed to add them directly. Here there is a term called phase angle will come here. That's why we are adding the vectors in vectorial sum, not phasor, not arithmetic sum. So this is the difference between phasor sum and arithmetic sum, right? Now voltage, supply voltage V equal to sum of resistor voltage and capacitor voltage, right? So what is the resistor voltage? That is I bar into R plus what is the capacitor voltage? That is minus J into I bar into X. So that will be, if I take I bar as common, that will be R minus J XC. This is supply voltage, and this is represented with I bar into Z, where Z is impedance. Okay, Z is called impedance. That is Z for RC network is R bar minus R minus J XC, where XC is capacitive reactance, right? XC equal to 1 by omega C. Okay, so this is voltage across the entire RC network, I bar into Z, where Z equal to R minus JXC, where XC is 1 by omega C. Okay, XC is nothing but our capacitive reactance, and omega is angular frequency, right? Now let us proceed further. We are going to find impedance angle now. So what is an impedance angle? So they generally, just like our power triangle, there is an impedance triangle available. Okay, so for RC network, that is capacitive network, this impedance triangle also different for capacitive networks and inductive network. Okay, so I'm going to draw this. So that means here we are having resistor, and the inductive, the capacitive reactance will be having, it is leading, right? Minus j is nothing but it is leading. So that is XC is leading, right? So XC is leading the resistor by 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. Okay, here XC is coming first, then only our resistor network is coming. So now we have to add these two vectors to get our impedance, right? So this is our impedance. Okay, now we need to find this theta, that is impedance angle. It is given by impedance angle equal to tan inverse of XC by R. Okay, so this is impedance angle. Okay, so earlier this is rectangular form of representation of impedance. This is phasor representation. Phasor representation of impedance Z. Okay, now let us proceed. This theta is leading here, right? Theta impedance angle is leading for capacitive network. Okay, which is equal to tan inverse of imaginary coefficient by real coefficient. Okay, that means if you have to write the angle for this a plus jb, so theta will be tan inverse of imaginary coefficient is beta b and real term is a. So this is how you can write the impedance angle for a given rectangular impedance. Okay, so we have drawn impedance triangle and we have obtained impedance angle. Okay, now we can also find this in cos theta, that is given by r by z. This is one factor to find power factor. Cos theta is power factor. Okay, this is r by z. Now we can also get the powers from this phasors, that is we have derived I bar into z equal to I bar into r minus j into I bar into xc. This is what we have derived so far, right? Okay, now this I bar into z is nothing but, so I'm multiplying current on both sides. Okay, that will be I into I square into z equal to I bar r I square r minus j into I square xc. So this I square into z is nothing but our apparent power equal to I square into r is our real power and is our j into reactive power. Okay, so S bar equal to P bar minus j into Q bar. Okay, so let us draw the power triangle here. So power triangle for RC network. Okay, so that is we are drawing the P here first, the real power, and here Q is leading the P by 90 degrees. So the lead Q will be represented like this. This is Q bar, and addition of these two vectors will give us our apparent power. This is our apparent power. Okay, now let us see the phasor representation of voltages. Okay, so we have three voltages. V is total voltage, supply voltage, VR plus VC. Okay, so here this is VR resistor voltage, this is VC capacitor voltage, and the sum will be capacitor voltage is lagging, right? So that will be below this line like this. This is VC, this is VR, and the sum of these two vectors will be our supply voltage V. Okay, so this is theta. So here we are getting 90 degrees phase displacement, and here also you will be having current, that is I bar. I bar will be in phase with our resistive circuit only. So this is, now this is leading one. Here if you see that current is leading the voltage by 90 degrees. This is current phasor. Okay, this is voltage phasor. This is IC, current through the capacitor is leading the voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, so you can obtain the cos theta from the here also, that is cos theta will be VR bar by V bar magnitude, because V bar equal to VR bar plus VC bar. So magnitude of supply voltage will be VR square plus VC square, and the angle will be tan inverse of VC by VR. Okay, so this is about RC circuit. Okay, let me brief it again. We are going to find voltage across each element first. Okay, here we have found voltage across each element, that is VR, and VC, and we have found the impedance, that is Z equal to R minus JXC, and we have drawn impedance triangle here. So this is impedance triangle. First we found the impedance and we have drawn impedance triangle. Okay, then we found impedance angle also. Then we have obtained powers from this expression. Then we have drawn power triangle. Then we have drawn voltage phasor representation. Okay, so this is about series RC network. Now let us proceed with series RL network. Okay, that will be similar to this one. Let us proceed. So here we have series RL circuit. Okay, R and L are connected in series. So we have applied a voltage of V here, AC single phase AC of 50 Hz supply, and we will be getting some voltage across this resistor, that is VR, and voltage across this inductor, that is VL. Okay, so we know that VR bar equal to I bar. I will be the current flowing through this circuit. I bar into R. PL is voltage across that inductor, that will be I bar into XL, and to indicate the lag of voltage we are mentioning J operator here. Okay, so this is voltage across each element. Now the source voltage V equal to VR bar plus VL bar. This is vector sum, as I told you earlier. Okay, so this is voltage across resistor, and this is voltage across inductor, right? Now we have to add these two equations, that is V source voltage equal to I into R plus J into I into XL, where XL is called inductive reactance, which is given by omega L. XL equal to omega L. Okay, where omega is angular frequency, which is equal to 2 pi f. We have already derived it. Now I am taking I common. I bar will be R plus, so the procedure will be same as we have done in RC series. So I am finding impedance here. So here this will be I bar into Z, where Z is called impedance. Z is called impedance, right? So which is equal to R plus JXL in this case. Z equal to R plus JXL. Okay, this is impedance of RL circuit. Impedance of RL circuit. Now we can draw that impedance triangle here. So I'm writing impedance triangle. Okay, so what is that? So here this is R, okay, resistor, and here this is inductor, inductive reactance, and sum of these two will be impedance Z. Okay, so this angle is theta. Theta is called impedance angle, which is equal to theta equal to tan inverse of, you can write it from the expression directly, that is tan inverse of XL by R. Okay, Now the voltage V bar is obtained as I bar into Z. So I am substituting I bar into Z equal to I bar into R plus I bar J into I bar into XL. So if you multiply, I am trying to get the powers here. That will be I square into Z, I bar square into Z equal to I square, I bar square into R plus I bar square into XL. So this will be sum of 3 powers. Actually P plus Q will get negative here. Actually it is P plus JQ, not only Q, P plus JQ. Okay, our derivation now. So here these are phasors. So sum of phasors will be S square equal to P square plus Q square. So S equal to under root P square plus Q square. So we can get the power triangle here. Power triangle. Earlier it was P minus JQ. Actually it's equal to, now the power is S bar equal to P bar plus JQ bar. Okay, now power will be like this. This is lagging the P and the sum will be S bar. Okay, so this is theta, the power angle, or you can also call it as power factor angle. Okay, so cos theta equal to P by S from power triangle, right? Real power by apparent power. Now let us draw the phasor representation for our voltages. That will be, we are having 3 types of voltage here: source voltage, resistor voltage, okay, plus inductor voltage. V bar equal to VR bar plus VL bar. V bar equal to VR bar plus VL bar. So here VL bar is lagging the VR bar by 90 degrees. VL bar. So the sum of these two phasors will be our supply voltage. This is supply voltage V bar. Okay, here if you see here, this is current phasor because current will be in phase with resistive voltage, right? This is current phasor and it is lagging the voltage VL by 90 degrees. This is current phasor. Okay, so this is theta here. Okay, so cos theta again will it as VR bar by V bar magnitude. Now V bar can be equal to VR bar square plus VL square. Okay, so theta equal to tan inverse of VL by VR. Okay, so this is how you need to find the thing. So if you are asked to find the impedance angle, you need to find VL and VR, then you have to substitute in this expression. And if you are asked to find the power factor, then you need to substitute the VR bar and V bar here. You need to find VR bar and V bar, then you need to substitute them here. Okay, if you are asked to find impedance, you need to find impedance R plus J omega L. Okay, so these are the references. Okay, now we are done with RC and RL. Now let us see the series RLC in the next class. Okay, thank you.